Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Fall WSSEA season here. We've got an exciting best of five for you in Rocket League. But as always, before we get into all that exciting action, I got to introduce the handsome man to my digital right here, FBI Tugboat. How are we feeling today, my brother?
Feeling great. Another wonderful day to cast some Scholastic High School Rocket League here for the Washington State Scholastic Esports Association.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We talked about earlier. I mean, both of these schools are 1-0 on the regular season. So, unfortunately, only one of them will remain undefeated after today. Hanford High School, the Falcons, they had a tough season last season, 0-7, but this is virtually a completely new team returning. They've already got one dub on the board. We'll see if they can power forward here, maybe carry off the back of that momentum.
It's a very true point. So they played two preseason games. Hanford plays against Ephrata twice. Beats them once, loses against them once. Interesting stuff. Taking a look at over there, Walla Walla. Yes, the Walla Walla Blue Devils, which this is a competition about which team name was funner to say. Nothing against Hanford High whatsoever here, but Walla Walla would definitely take the cake right there. Yes, Walla Walla 0-1 on the season. This is the team that has played Lakeside, played the same team twice, Lakeside, that was a preseason 0-3, and then a last week regular season week 1 0-3. So yes, this team has lost once in the preseason, lost once in the regular season, but it's to the same team, and I think that kind of explains why it was a 0-3 loss. Walla Walla Blue Devils looking for their first even round win within the WSSEA regular season. Hot sauce.
Yeah, it's tough when you play the same tough team back to back. It's hard to, especially only from a preseason to a regular season. So now an opportunity for the Blue Devils to really make some growth here, put their foot down and see if they can make a stand and get their first dub on the board. So excited for it. I have to agree, Walla Walla Blue Devils, slightly more fun to say, but the Falcons, I love Falcons as well. They're the undefeated team at the moment, and so looking to keep that alive. I think we got Rainfall, Triple Robot, and Valor on the side of them, with Coach being their parties being their coach, as we see that graphic pop up on the screen now.
Bang. Yes, Walla Walla here. Last year, tied for 5th, so no spring chickens themselves, right? Pretty experienced roster here with Roca. If that's incorrect, somebody correct us in chat. RLB13, henceforth referred to as LRB. Ahead Stingray 91, XX Moses 215, henceforth referred to as Moses. Big shout out to coaching staff here, I believe. In Tanner Torrey, that could be a player as well. The only other name that we have written down here is Walla Walla Esports staff. Walla Walla High School, just like every other high school, will be supported by a teacher, right, that will go forth and volunteer their own time and effort, Hot Sauce, to really try and help out the next generation of Rocket League talent, or Scholastic Esports talent, Rocket League specifically here on the day, right? Big shout out to them, whoever they are. The only thing we have right here is Walla Walla Esports staff. I also want to give a shout out to some of the individuals behind the scenes, pulling the strings and getting this done, making our jobs as casters that much easier, Hot Sauce. And that is, of course, Connie. That is, of course, Taylor. And there's, of course, Jaden. Very much appreciate y'all helping us out and making our jobs as casters that much easier. We also want to give a big shout out to Zotac. Yes, shout out to Zotac Gaming for supporting Scholastic Esports in Washington State. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out over there on your various social medias. Make sure to join the community over on Discord if you choose, and don't forget to use the hashtag #PoweredByZotac. Or hashtag Zotac USA when you post. Hashtag Zotac USA sounds like the more international tweet if you're not residing here in the United States of America. So if you choose to do that, powered by Zotac, probably here in the States, and Zotac USA outside of that. It's Tuesday. We all know what that means here, Hot Sauce, for Epic Games, for Fortnite, and also, more importantly, for Rocket League, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an update drop in here as we look to get the game started. So it might just be a few moments. I mean, these updates usually aren't very big at all. Unfortunately, when it is a school system, everybody's downloading at the same time. It might take just a couple minutes, but it won't be too long before we get into that exciting best of 5 that we have here for you. You talked about the Blue Devils as well, getting, I think, 5th last season. And they only lost to that number 2 ranked Kennedy Catholic, I believe, in the playoffs there as well. So, yeah, I think a very veteran team here. They have a deep roster as well. And so I know a lot of times we've seen schools kind of alternate players in and out between each and every game as well. So that's something that we potentially could see here from the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and it's worthwhile to say as well, just to kind of stipulate upon that, took Game 5 to put down this squad that Kennedy Catholic team did. That tells me a lot, right? You can talk to me all day about results and whatnot. If memory... I'm not 100% sure how many of those individual games went to overtime, but given that it went to Game 5, you could kind of say that the series went to overtime, went to extra games right there. Again, Kennedy Catholic going on and punching their ticket to second overall, right? It is fair to say that within the WSSEA and Rocket League specifically, as the season goes on, there's kind of like that cream of the crop situation, right? Some teams just clear like top echelon. Not usually just one team that's like clear cut far and away. I mean, Kennedy Catholic had not a shot last year, but kind of like that top echelon and then more of the middle of the pack, and then the squads that are still going to have opportunities, excuse me. Opportunities within the postseason, given that the regular season here within the WSSEA does not go forth to nix any teams, any squads from the postseason, and more so just decides that seeding. Now, that said, I mean, we have to have some sort of influence for the postseason, right? So I'm not saying this in a bad way, but that said, seeding can go forth and really determine your postseason in results regardless. It can be just as, I mean, pretty much just as, like, defying, right? To get a bad seed to go up against a really, really good team, Kennedy Catholic, one of these other squads we're talking about, and of course, a team that go forth and take first place, then it can't just be eliminated within the regular season, right?
Well, you know, it looks like they've got this update done and dusted. They're ready to get the action, and they're wasting no time. It's Hanford, I believe. I'm Valor already through the sky, finding this one early. And, I mean, just getting up. We see the defenders trying to challenge here. It was a solid attempt, but Valor just wasn't going to be denied.
Yeah, so Valor, an early shot right here. It goes to note, I mean, using the ground right there. What's the phrase in football? The ground can't cause a fumble. Can you use the ground to pinch it a goal in? The answer is a resounding yes if your name is Valor and the team is Hanford High.
That's a good early start, but as we talk about it, it's only 15, 20 seconds into that. So plenty of time here for Walla to bounce back. They're already getting some shots on target. It's a double commit here from Hanford, but they do come away with a save. Shots will continue to fly toward the net, and they'll be searching for that clear.
Yeah, and that was the Hanford High defender that barely got to the outside. Well, it's I'm Valor, to be honest. No need to specify that. We believe you, Valor, putting up two quick ones early.
Not even a minute off the clock here, and already two looking for that hat trick as well. So Walla, I think, you know, it's an early game for them, still trying to find that that team synergy, or sometimes these first game jitters that we like to talk about. It takes a minute for them to kind of get into that stride. So we'll look for them to settle. They had a couple nice attacks on the net, but it was that counterattack from Hanford, and now they're looking for another one.
Yeah, I'm Valor taking shots, hitting backboards, bumping defenders. Really a well-rounded offensive player, and now a complete shutdown of communication there for Hanford. Roman comes up to it, kind of posturing like they have all the boost in the world to go forth and pay the bills. Well, that one's going to come up short in the monthly mail. Stingray looking dangerous right there. Follow up, that's going to be enough.
Beautiful job. I mean, Stingray really set all of this up, and it was a nice initial attempt, but you got to have those rotations on point, and that's what Walla is showing right here. We see LI Esports 03. Not sure who's playing under that one exactly, but nonetheless, getting the job done. They cut that within one, and now with 3:35, they find themselves within striking distance and plenty of time to find it.
Yeah, that two-goal cushion's never going to feel great. Walla quickly dusts that one, comes up to it. Can't quite finish this one out. That Hanford High player did. They had plenty of opportunity vertically there and enough boost, I believe, to get to it. Just kind of lost the handles towards the end. Offender's attempt right there, but a well-rounded rotation there for Walla guarantees that has no harm, no foul.
Well, they're looking for another attack. It's a pass in front of the net. Nobody's home just yet. Stingray will pass back toward himself at mid. Calls himself off, though. No boost in the tank, and will look to circle back. This one is on target, and, well, you might have guessed it. I'm Valor from deep this time, and the hats will rain down onto the field.
Oh yes, that was Rainfall. You kind of see them kind of playing wingman, coming up to this ball, realize that Valor has a much better shot trajectory on that, and perhaps you might see kind of like a little hole in that armor, right, of Walla Walla. When this gets vertical, especially when Valor takes it there, Hot Sauce, kind of seems like they don't have an answer, at least here in early.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, all three players standing stationary in that goal can be a very dangerous thing. You want to try to keep that car in momentum or keep it rolling here and circle out toward that far post. So need to see him stepping forward. That's exactly what we see here from Stingray. He goes over the head of one and bounces it in for goal number 2.
2 shots, a save, and a goal and assist right here. Talk about a well-rounded player. Stingray getting this one going and providing Walla Walla just that little bit more life 2 seconds outside of halftime.
Well, it's been a little bit of back and forth, but the Falcons have remained up on top so far. It's Walla Walla looking to tie it up, and they'll apply some quick pressure here off the back end of the kickoff. Esports 3 able to step up, finds a card to the ball, but not the stop they were hoping for. Bumped away, and now it's the Falcons through the sky once more. Valor was searching for it, but will be denied this time.
Yeah, wise decisions to kind of break up this play before it develops into something that you just can't control there for Walla Walla. Also, I got to say, there's not really like one definitive defender here for Hanford that I'm looking to always like make plays. I mean that in that they've had like well-rounded responsibilities here. There's not one player always being dedicated back. I also mean that the other way, that there's not really been a player on Hanford's defense that shows me they can block anything that comes up, and another one from Walla Walla. So perhaps kind of a similar story for different teams here, and that's that aerial goals, man. Oh, this is kind of technically Rainfall coming back to this. I mean, sort of even passed it to the Walla Walla player, like half an own goal, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Stingray tuck it into the corner and bump one of the defenders away, but yeah, it got a little squirrely around that goal line, and we've seen both teams kind of coagulate together on this goal line. It's created for some iffy moments, but Rainfall is going to rain this one on in. Hanford will enjoy the lead for a little while longer. 88 seconds left in this one. We'll see if the Blue Devils can battle back again.
This is just a bad read on the other side. Esports 03, I believe. We're looking at the back of Washington Esports 01 right now. Again, not 100% certain which player that is, so we'll just refer to them as 1 and 3, I suppose. But yeah, so you even had a line on this ball in the goal as well. You have to anticipate a player coming from the other side, even though you might not really be able to see them, and kind of dictate from there what angle they're coming in at that, and just not really bite in too far. Oh my goodness. Okay, flashiest goal right here of this matchup so far for either of these teams, but definitely for Hanford. Rainfall, perfect control, backboard play. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, beautiful double tap there as well. And right before that happened, one of the Walla Walla players bumped into Stingray, knocking him off and away from that net. So, again, a little bit of confusion, I think, on the defensive side for the Blue Devils this time. And after finding themselves tied up, it's 2 quick goals from the Falcons. They enjoy a 2-point cushion. 60 seconds left of this one, and now Walla Walla is going to have to quicken the pace a bit.
Yeah, so gotta be feeling the pressure here just a little bit, right? Score difference of 1 can be undone at any point, and once again we tune back to these, and 1 and 3 are dangerously knocking into each other, guaranteeing that neither player can make a play onto this ball. Roman gets there first after a single shot attempt, an assist, now a goal and a save. I gotta say, if it's a competition to have the most well-rounded players and not one player that is just completely forced to only do one task, but instead other teammates feeding them, it's going to be Valor. Now Rainfall finding their own hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, again, we went from being tied up with a little more than 60 seconds to go to still having 38 seconds and Hanford enjoying a 4-point lead here. So they've really turned it on. I think maybe Walla Walla experiencing some of that trouble and realized that they had to cheat forward to try and find a late goal. Sometimes when you do that, bad things can happen. And, well, for Hanford, they're relentless. It's shot after shot. They pepper the net. They find a ton of goals. And they're looking to close out here in game number 1.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times that's why you see even-handed Rocket League games until that last 75 seconds or so. You know, like a manageable 2 scores or even less. even if a team is like playing super physically and constantly getting demos or something like that, right? But then after a certain point, it's kind of that kitchen sink type statement or sentiment, right? That mentality, the throw every single thing that we have offensive-wise against the wall, throw the kitchen sink in it all down there, right? And just see what happens, because if we continue to do what we're doing right now, we have the same kind of result. Well, that result will be behind. So 4 shots attempted here for Walla Walla, 3 made in. That does say good things about the quality versus quantity question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the shooting percentage is phenomenal. They just need more opportunities downfield. They each get a save. There's a couple assists. So, I mean, everything that Walla Walla did, it just seemed like Hanford was slightly doing a little bit better. And that really wasn't true until that final minute or so. It was the Falcons that really stepped it up in that last minute. We saw 4 goals come in to make it a 7-3. So Walla Walla will try to bounce back here in game 2 of this best of 5. And now we're seeing maybe a change up in some of the scenery here as they steal away the first goal. The Cybertruck has made an appearance.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Hey, Rocket League, they have partnerships with everybody, I suppose. This is just going to be a wayward ball. This happens, right? This is great if you're Walla Walla, though. This is kind of like that random Rocket League luck that may have gone the other way for parts of game number 1. They'll take it, right? They will take this hot sauce.
Yeah, I would too. Every time I'll take any goal I can get. We see a demo tucked into the corner here, but Hanford, this is where they get dangerous. They begin to get these defenders to bite out on these early shots off the backboard, and then they've always got a player in great positioning. But Walla Walla does a good job of adjusting here so far in game 2. They've gotten some more opportunities early. They enjoy the 1-point lead, but for how long? Through the sky, and Rainfall has been on fire.
Yeah, there's some kind of grand irony to saying rain on fire, but yeah, once again, Walla Walla, they have a solid line on this, right? Again, just the aerial ball is coming at those upward angles. Pretty much anything above that, like that 9-degree, right? Like pretty much towards the middle of this net. That's not a clear. Oh my goodness! Ahead Stingray with one of their best opportunities we've seen thus far, but still results in the tied game. Hot sauce.
Some of those easier goals are the hardest ones to make. Feeling that pressure of everybody closing in around you, but Rainfall through the sky, and this is where he's been successful. Continues to dribble it on in. It doesn't matter if it's on the ground or through the sky. Rainfall dropping buckets and bombs here. 2-1. Hanford back on top.
Precipitation with accuracy. I think that's how like the military would describe it, right? My goodness, Hanford here. And Rainfall just really putting this game number 2 on their back so far. Good news, Walla Walla, only 60 seconds has eclipsed.
Hey, they say when it rains, it pours, and Rainfall has just been pouring these in. Goes for a second attempt, has to fight his own teammate. His teammate's hungry for goals. They said, hey, share some of that action with us, Rainfall. He almost gets an own goal. It's saved away by Hanford, and around the horn they go. Talk about back and forth. They have really quickened the pace on both sides.
Yeah, heck, you really had to after that win from Hanford off of kickoff. That's not a good clear, but that's not a good follow-up either. That's a little bit better to the corner and inside. All roads lead to Roman after they're going to get on the board here for game number 2.
Win in Rome, and he'll take that one there. 3-1 now. Hanford, it's something that they've done well. They score in succession. They're able to score in bunches, and now we're seeing them really start to pour it on yet again. Walla Walla has to find a way to slow down some of this momentum, whether it be through some demos bumps or just by finding the back of the net here.
And how much of this is mental, right? Like the scoring in deluges, that is.
Well, I mean, honestly, it could go either way, especially at a young age. Sometimes it's something that does affect the mental. I've seen a lot of these young talent, with great mental fortitude, where they have a team captain that just says, hey, it happens. Let's take a deep breath. Let's reset. Let's continue to do what works for us. And it goes back to some of those basic fundamentals, those rotations. The communication is absolutely key here. And so I think as long as they can get themselves feeling comfortable, like I said, a team captain, great for that. But so I think it does vary from team to team and from player to player pretty drastically at the scholastic level.
Yeah, I have to think so. And it really seems like this kind of goes back to a lot of what Hot Sauce and I talk about, folks, and that's that with the right support, right abilities to go forth and thrive. Coaching staff and otherwise are only going to help these teams succeed, really, at the end of the day.
Just listening to the sound of that Cybertruck for a second. I don't hear it on the pitch too often. It's got a funny little sound there, but
it's
around.
like it's still got the it doesn't have like the realistic sounds, right? Like
it's like an electric NASCAR. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
a battery NASCAR or something. It's combined, but nonetheless, I'm enjoying it, and I'm sure these players are having fun as well. But the Blue Devils, they find themselves down by 2. They're searching for another. A Stingray tries to power that on through. Does get stopped. The defender steps out a bit early. Doesn't find the touch, which means the net is wide open. And, well, the Falcons have done a great job of capitalizing on these opportunities. It's Roman this time here to do it again.
Yeah, and this more so feels like a situation. I mean, I've talked about this before, Hot Sauce. This feels like that split decision type situation, right? You wait too long to make a decision, the decision is going to make you. Either they should have sat back for another second or so before trying to make a defensive play on the ball, or they should have gone forth about a second earlier, right? And then been able to get an offensive play on the ball, because this was bouncing pretty precariously across the middle of the field with all 3 members kind of tied up, like almost their axles tied together there across the middle of this pitch, like almost basically in front of this net, right? As it is, this has just kind of been a scrum for the ball right here, but a score difference of 3, this has got to feel a little bit reminiscent of game number 1 here if you're Walla Walla.
Yeah, and it just goes back to some of that team communication. But honestly, if I have to pick one or the other, it's just nice to see them going for it. I think a lot of times we will see students be a little bit more patient or kind of afraid to attack that ball. So I think getting out there attacking, even if you miss or make a mistake, you're going to correct those mistakes as time goes on. You're going to get more comfortable going up into the air, trying some of those aerial maneuvers and abilities. And so I like to see him challenging it. It didn't go their way that time, but yeah, you have to feel like it is very reminiscent now with that 3-goal lead. Only 30 seconds left, so it does look like Hanford may be able to go up to series and match point here.
Yeah, 3 scores, 18 seconds, 6 seconds per. Not going to happen because, of course, that is just to tie it up, even if they do get to that overtime situation. Taking 1, putting the doggy bag with you. Walla Walla's still looking, and it's that never give up type attitude, the don't stop moving until you hear the whistle type mentality. It will take teams far. 0-0s, volleyball situation, not going to find it on the back side. Another multi-score deficit here against the Walla Walla squad.
Yeah, and I know two of these 3 members are new here for the Falcons, but you have to be pleasantly pleased, proud and happy of yourself from going from an 0-7 previous season to now having a dominating season. You win your first game 3-0. You had success in that preseason, and now you're looking to take your second game here in week number 2, but that's the important thing. You have to be able to close out these important series. And, well, the Blue Devils, they've shown they've had the skill to win these games. If they could do it 1 goal, 1 game at a time, they could slowly work their way back into this series.
And these are best of 5s, right? So there's the time, cue the card. We talk about the memory of a goldfish is playing the Rocket League game that is set forth ahead of you. Triple Robot taking the field now. Or no, that was Rainfall, Roman, and Valor before, I believe. Yeah, so we're going to see a little triple robot action here for Hanford as they're up 2-0. They must really like it in getting these players involved. Well, Valor loves the tap off the backboard here with no kind of play. I mean, 1 attempts for it, but again, kind of a split decision there for Esports 1. And they get nothing more for that indecision than a front row seat to the first goal of this game 3.
Yeah, it's nice to see that these schools have deeper rosters and that there is a bigger interest in it for a lot of these students. And the fact that they all get an opportunity to come out here and showcase a little bit of the skills, I think is fun. That one's going to hit off the crossbar. Valor has been peppering shots here all day, up into the sky, able to keep the drive alive for a little while as Esports 3 will find a half clear, and Walla Walla will now look for something in transition.
Up to it, big clear right here. Can't quite get the human backboard play. It's off to the right side now. Now it's off to the races. An errant hit. That's a fantastic clear there for Walla Walla. Now Hanford on the defensive side.
Valor All over the field, though, quick to scoop it up. It's a nice pass play, back down. One more pass, but there's no boost in the tank here for Rainfall. No, excuse me, he had full boost. It was deceiving because of the color, but taps it off the backboard. The save from Esports 3. Now back the other direction, able to scoop up the 100 at mid. Walla searching for their first one. It's dangerously close, but somehow doesn't go in.
And that's the other thing. Walla, it's not like they've been shut out in any of these games, even scoring just the one. 3-score deficit, I'll say a 4-1 feels a lot better than a 0-3. There's the hit. There's the save. Not quite the clear, though. Follow-up. Tapper cannot come in from Rainfall. A great job from Walla. Doing a great job on the defensive side of the ball, at least so far. It's just about continuing this defensive success, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, well, it's tough. I mean, Hanford is no stranger to going to the sky. They have a few members that are comfortable there as well, and it always makes it difficult when there's levels to the teams that you're playing against. So they've made great adjustments, and they've held them 2-1, but they have to continue to do so, and then they have to find that counterattack, a way to get on the board, at least to get the equalizer, and then an opportunity to win. And right now, it is Hanford that's applying most of that pressure. It's a shot toward target, and Stingray with a beautiful save.
Yeah, Walla. That's the kind of saves that we're looking for as well. Not just a save, but like a relatively clear. There you go, another one. Now picking it up from themselves. Gets hit at the last second. Can't quite get the angle they want on it. Still fighting for the ball, though. 8 seconds past halftime.
Yeah, I love to see that determination, never giving up, continuing that fight there, and now tucking it into the corner. Around the horn it goes. It's a double commit from Hanford. An opportunity, but Valor a big save, and now back the other direction. Walla is trying their hearts out, and somehow Triple Robot with a save. They just won't allow the Blue Devils to find the back of the net.
Nicely done. We also have to notice that Walla is... Like, they're doing great on the rotations, but they're always leaving this player back. And when this player is always left back, then the offense can stretch the field to the other side, right? Like, wherever they may be at one time, like right here, player kind of goes out for boost, tries to come back to it, and then they just kind of slot it bottom right. 2-goal cushion here for Hanford, an elimination game. Of course, that's just elimination on the day, right? Once again, all these teams have a postseason opportunity. Regular season performance determines seeding.
Yeah, you know, and it's always tough. We see a lot of these younger teams, they try to have maybe a designated goalie. It just gives them a little piece of comfort. But even if you have that kind of designated goalie or third man, when the ball goes forward, you want them to press up to at least midfield. You want to try and give them opportunities to put that ball in play, because virtually you're just giving yourself a 2v3 downfield. So it does take time to build that team synergy. That was a dangerous one in the front of the Blue Devils net, and I'm not sure Falcons are done yet. They want to keep putting this shot on target here. They've been relentless all day.
Nice.
They almost find a third.
Ed Stingray using the head on that one. Classic soccer play. A little pop up and over. Still have to remain on the other side of this. Kind of gets away from it just a little bit. Now, 60-second drill again. Back to it. It's the triple dip. Valor sends it right on over the heads with another hat trick.
Looking like Lionel Messi out here, breaking axles and busting tires. My man gets by 3 with the flicks over the head, and just like that, a masterclass, a cinema coming out from the Falcons. They're up 5-3. It's a nice cushion for them as they look to break out the brooms here, and they've just got to hold on for about 45 more seconds.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Three-score cushion feels great, but it's also not really something at this point, at least quite yet, you can really feel super secure taking the foot off the gas here. Scrum to the right side. This is precious seconds that Walla is like burning off here that they really don't have to play with.
Yeah, again, they can just eat up as much time as they want, look for booming clears, even if they do forfeit a goal here. You talk about the cushion and the time that's left, and it's going to be tough. But I'd love to see the Blue Devils at least sneak one in here, late moments. 10 seconds left, dwindling away, and this one as the Falcons look to close it out in 3.
There's another one just for a little bit extra. Rainfall, third shot. I believe that's their first goal, because it is a hat trick there for their teammate. It's Valor there. An assist as well, so Valor with a 100% participation within goal scoring, right? Either the progenitor of the goal themselves, right, actually making it last to touch it, or the assist.
I mean, it's a nice problem to have if you're the Falcons. They seem to have a lot of playmakers here. Again, we see a lot of great moments from the Blue Devils. They had a lot of attacking opportunities. We saw some nice goals in those first couple games. They gathered 3 in that first one as well, but it was just a little too late there. I think the consistent rotations that we saw from Hanford, they were able to spread the field, and they seemed like they were a little more comfortable through the sky as well.
Can definitely agree about the comfortability aerially, right? Walla Walla was... Once you have a game plan where you're always leaving a player back, no matter who that was. I saw Esports 1, I saw Esports 3, I saw this other player at Stingray, right? Once you have this game plan, then it's more easily read out, and you can always send an initial player before the actual ball carrier gets there to just tap demo, or even just get in the way. We saw that come forth and mean the difference between a solid block, even maybe a great clear, and a goal, and that's just what Hanford High started doing over and over and over again. At the end of the day, if your game plan is predictable, then the end score usually is as well.
Yeah, I think the Blue Devils have some room for improvement. I think just by bringing that goalie out and constantly keeping everybody rotating back to that post, I think they'd have a lot more success with that as well. But those are just some minor things, and honestly, they're easy to correct as well. And I think that's going to come in time as you play together more. You're going to build that team synergy. You're going to build that confidence, and so those are all things that we'll be looking out for from the Blue Devils, as unfortunately they fall to 0-2 on the season. Hanford, though, from 0-7 to 2-0, a great start for them so far.
Really is. Again, only a single player returning, but we always look for market improvement season to season, right? Especially given that, close matches in the preseason, right? Both of them going to 3-2, one being a victory, one being a loss. Then coming out of that win last week, right? Coming into this one and not dropping a single game and getting a shutout in one of these. This was not, like 3 overtime games, and all 3 of them happened to go one way, single score difference for the side of Hanford. They've got to be feeling good about this. On the other side, Walla Walla, you didn't get shut out, right? Even the 4-0 towards the end, this is a game, if this happened like game 1, okay, or game 2, I should say, right? After you've gotten like your little initial, warm up, and before it's the elimination game, because once the elimination game, as you saw, Walla Walla is just dedicating so much more towards the offensive side of the ball until like the last 60 seconds or so there to try and go for it and just make a play, and obviously they're going to leave the net much, much more wide open when they're dedicating their time, resources to offense instead of defense. Fantastic play and plenty of more opportunity here for both of these squads, Hot Sauce.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And unfortunately, that is all for us today. A short but sweet day. But as always, we got to give a shout out to all the sponsors here today, including LandFest. Broadcasts like these help fuel LandFest Scholastic Esports program. So it's a program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in Washington State and Indiana. So, we provide these broadcasts free of charge for the leagues, the schools, and the teams. Your generous donations make this possible, and every $200 raised helps cover the operating costs for one regular season broadcast. So if you appreciate our work, feel free to scan that QR code there on your screen today and donate today. So we certainly appreciate each and every one of you as well. Of course, everybody behind the scenes here as well from LandFest NYC, including Connie, Taylor, and Jaden for helping produce and run the stream so smoothly. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us in chat, the teachers, and all the participants here today. Yeah. So make sure you hit that follow button, become part of that notification gang so you don't miss out. We'll be back here at the same time tomorrow with some Valorant. My name is Hot Sauce. That has been FBI Tugboat. You guys have been beautiful. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.